Off the top at noon today, loved ones are preparing to say their final goodbyes as fallen Marine Jared Schmitz is taken to his final resting place this afternoon. The St. Louis area native died last month along with 12 other service members in Afghanistan. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for News 4 at noon. I'm Claire Kellett. In just a few hours today, family and friends will lay Lance Cpl. Jared Schmitz to rest. The Missouri State Highway Patrol will be closing highways as they escort his body from St. Charles County to Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery. News 4's Caroline Hecker joins us live this afternoon outside Bowie Funeral Home, Caroline, in St. Charles.
Well, Claire, you can already see behind me the Patriot Guard, probably 200 or 300 of them along with their bikes here, kind of in a staging area, like you said, right outside Bowie Funeral Home as they await this procession, this final escort from Bowie Funeral Home to Jefferson Barracks. More continue to pour into the parking lot. If it's anything like we saw last week, it'll surely be quite the showing of support. They will lead this escort, of course, to Jefferson Barracks, where there will be a private service for the family that begins about 3 o'clock. So right now we're told 2 o'clock is the start time here for the Patriot Guard to get from Bowie Funeral Home onto I-70, then taking 270 all the way to Telegraph into Jefferson Barracks. So along that route, much like we saw last week, are people that are setting up flags on many of the overpasses, especially here in St. Charles County. I was at one earlier this morning where people were setting up different kinds of American flags, signs honoring the life of Lance Cpl. Jared Schmitz, and they all tell me they all have their own personal reasons for being out here today and taking part in this, but they say they value the sacrifices not only of Lance Cpl. Jared Schmitz, but of his family as well, and they want to make sure that as the family is escorted along with their son to his final resting place at Jefferson Barracks, that they are able to see that showing of support from the community. I spoke to one woman who said she knows Jared Schmitz's grandmother and that the family is very appreciative of the support they've received so far.
For him to be willing to sacrifice his life for this country means a whole lot.
Now again, remember just a week ago we saw thousands of people lining the route. That was mostly on I-70 here to Bowie Funeral Home. Of course, today it will start here at Cave Springs, West Clay, and St. Charles and continue eastward. Lots of people already up at the top of the intersection we drove by that have their lawn chairs out, their signs, hoping to get one final wave or salute in as that procession passes by here again at about 2 o'clock. We're live in St. Charles. Caroline Hecker, News 4.
Caroline, if you could just wait 1 second with us too, you talk to your photographer. Just give us a wider view of the outpouring of support right there behind you. I mean, we have a little bit of an idea, but I mean, it's just unbelievable to think of all of the individuals who are there at the funeral home to start this procession. I mean, and that's just
absolutely, Claire. I mean, you've got, if you remember from last week, it took 15 minutes of just pure motorcycles to drive by before you saw any members of the family and the cars that followed. So there's a true dedication here at the Patriot Guard. I've spoken with them. They say this is just a small thing they can do for the incredible sacrifice that Jared Schmitz and his family, for that matter, have made in giving his life for this country. They are happy to do it. It's a beautiful day out, of course. So they're kind of waiting until they get corralled here, probably in another hour. They'll kind of get their marching orders, so to speak, and then they will lead this procession. So if you start seeing motorcycles coming down I-70, you know it's begun, but certainly an incredible showing. And like I said, they continue to pour into this parking lot, Claire.
Yeah, just overwhelming support. You just get goosebumps thinking about everybody coming out today as they did last week for his family. Caroline, thank you. In honor of Lance Cpl. Jared Schmitz, Missouri Governor Mike Parson is ordering all flags at government buildings across the state to fly at half-staff today. Governor Parson says we owe a debt of gratitude that can never be repaid.